Have you ever stepped into a crowded place, maybe a mall, a subway, a busy street, and felt something inside you shrink, as if the world suddenly became just a little too loud for your nervous system to bear? It's strange, isn't it, how you can be in a place full of people and still feel your energy evaporate within seconds. The laughter, the footsteps, the conversations, the lights, everything comes at you all at once, like a wave you didn't see coming. You try to walk normally, move casually, keep your face relaxed. Because on the outside, nothing looks wrong. But inside, something whispers, I don't belong here. Why does this feel so overwhelming? And then you watch others laughing, talking, blending into the noise like they were born in it. And you wonder, why can they breathe in this chaos, while I feel like I'm suffocating? Maybe it happens to you the same way it happens to so many sensitive people. You walk through a crowded space, and your senses wake up all at once. Every sound feels sharper, every movement feels closer, every light feels brighter. You don't just hear the baby crying, you feel the tension behind the cry. You don't just notice footsteps, you sense the rhythm, the pace, the anxiety in someone's stride. You don't just see faces, you absorb expressions, micro movements, energy shifts. Nothing stays in the background, nothing stays neutral. Everything sticks to you like emotional static. People think you're quiet because you don't talk much in these settings. But the truth is, it's not silence, it's survival. Your mind is processing too many signals to form the kind of effortless small talk others rely on in crowds. There's a psychological explanation for this. Some people have what's called a highly sensitive nervous system. It means your brain doesn't filter out irrelevant noise the way others do. It doesn't automatically mute the things your mind decides aren't important. For most people, overwhelming stimuli get dialed down before reaching consciousness. But for you, it all comes through unedited. Your brain receives the sounds, the lights, the emotions, the movements raw, vivid, intense. So while others walk through the same environment without noticing half of it, you're receiving everything at once. Every frequency, every vibration, every emotional signal. And that's not a flaw. It's not a defect. It's a trait often linked to creativity, empathy, intuition, and deep perception. People sometimes label you as antisocial, shy, withdrawn, or uninterested. But that's not the truth. You don't avoid people because you dislike them. You avoid chaos because it drains you. You are not uninterested in human connection. You are simply sensitive to the energy that comes with it. You notice the fake smile someone uses to cover fatigue, the tight jaw someone hides behind laughter, the person who's nervous, even though they're speaking loudly, the subtle tension in the air that nobody mentions but everyone feels. You pick up the emotional background noise of the room, and that takes a toll. You not standing apart because you cold, you standing apart because you absorbing everything. It's not antisocial behavior, it's emotional awareness turned up to maximum volume. There's also something deeper happening, a psychological tension people rarely talk about. In large groups, individuals naturally start to synchronize with the crowd. They raise their voice to match others. They adjust their posture to blend in. They copy expressions, follow norms, and harmonize with the mood around them. But you don't blend in so easily. And not because you can't, but because it feels unnatural, almost like you're being pulled away from yourself. Crowds demand conformity. They ask you to mute parts of yourself to match the noise. And you value authenticity far too much for that. Pretending becomes exhausting. Forcing interaction becomes tiring. Wearing a social mask drains you faster than the noise around you. That's why solitude feels like home, because solitude doesn't ask you to change. You've probably noticed how alive you feel in quiet spaces, late-night walks, empty cafes, peaceful corners of the world where sound softens and air slows down. There's a reason for that. Your nervous system finally gets to exhale. Your mind finally gets a moment to process instead of shield itself. Your emotions finally get room to breathe. People think you're running away from the world when you seek peace. But the truth is, you're returning to yourself. Quiet places aren't boring for you. They're restorative. They're grounding. They refill your internal battery in ways that noisy environments never could. And you shouldn't feel guilty for that. You're simply honoring your biology, your psychology, your temperament. There's another scientific layer to this. Extroverted brains release more dopamine in social situations. That means people who love crowds actually get a neurological reward from them. They feel energized, excited, stimulated. But if you're introverted, sensitive, or both, your brain might release far less dopamine in those moments. Instead of feeling excited, you feel overstimulated. Instead of feeling alive, you feel overwhelmed. Instead of gaining energy, you lose it. It's not a choice. It's not being dramatic. It's chemistry. It's how your brain is wired. And once you understand that, suddenly everything makes sense. Why you prefer one-on-one conversations. Why you avoid chaotic parties. Why quiet settings feel more meaningful. Why overstimulation leads to exhaustion. Why being around too many people drains you faster than anything else. It's not weakness. It's your nervous system speaking its truth. There's something else most people never even consider, something that sensitive individuals experience constantly without realizing it. You don't just observe emotions. You absorb them. Your mind has a stronger empathic network than average. Your emotional receptors pick up signals like finely tuned instruments picking up faint vibrations. So when you walk into a crowded room, you're not just processing sound and light. You are subconsciously registering every person's emotional state, the frustration someone is suppressing, the stress someone is carrying in their shoulders, the sadness hiding behind a polite smile. Most people walk through that same room and feel nothing. But you feel the emotional atmosphere like weather. You feel a storm before you see the clouds. Your nervous system mirrors their inner world almost instantly. It's a gift, but one that can become heavy, especially in chaotic places. That's why crowds feel so exhausting. You're not feeling one emotion. You're feeling dozens layered on top of each other. No wonder your brain ends up tired long before others do. You've probably also noticed that you can read people quickly, sometimes too quickly. You pick up on inconsistencies, emotional shifts, and subtle signals hidden between words. You can tell when someone is pretending to be fine or when something just feels off. This is why superficial conversations drain you. It's not that you're uninterested. It's that your mind seeks authenticity and depth. And here's the beautiful part. People don't realize how much you see. They only notice the silence on your lips, not the awareness behind your eyes. You're not quiet because you have nothing to say. You're quiet because you're listening to the world, to people, to life between the lines. This creates a unique kind of tension, the desire to connect mixed with the need to protect your inner space. You want to be understood, but you don't want to lose yourself trying to fit in. You want relationships, but you crave ones that don't overwhelm your heart. This conflict can make you feel misunderstood. People with louder personalities might interpret your quietness as disinterest. But you're not confused or broken. You're simply built differently. Your sensitivity is a compass, not a flaw. This can lead to a quiet truth many sensitive people carry, the feeling of being slightly out of place. Not rejected, just tuned to a different frequency. It's not that you can't socialize. You can be charming and engaging, especially one-on-one. But large groups where everyone is talking over each other. That's where you feel your energy slip away. It's not because you lack social skills. It's because your nervous system is overclocking, processing far more than anyone else. The world often praises people who are loud and bold. But your strength comes from the opposite direction. You're grounded, aware, and you feel deeply. In fact, sensitivity is one of the most misunderstood strengths. People confuse it with fragility, when it requires incredible emotional endurance to feel so much. It takes courage to stay open-hearted in a world that encourages numbness. It takes resilience to absorb so much energy yet remain compassionate. You aren't weak, you're highly attuned. The world needs people like you more than it admits. Have you ever felt that strange pull to step away, to leave a noisy room just to breathe? That instinct is not avoidance, it's balance. Your nervous system gets overloaded faster than others. Stepping away isn't running, it's recovering. It's restoring your clarity and your sense of self. For you, solitude isn't an escape, it's medicine. Let's be honest, modern life isn't designed for sensitive people. It's loud, fast, and overstimulated. No wonder your nervous system feels overwhelmed. You were never meant to carry this much noise. But your sensitivity gives you depth in a culture obsessed with speed. Your awareness gives you clarity in a society addicted to distraction. You aren't falling behind. You're simply refusing to lose yourself in the chaos. And here's something you might not realize. You connect with people in ways most can't. You don't bond through small talk. You bond through understanding and sincerity. You don't need noise to feel close to someone. Your heart works quietly. Your relationships grow slowly, and your connections deepen through meaning, not performance. And that is rare, beautiful, and absolutely worth protecting. There's a moment that sensitive people know all too well when you suddenly feel the shift. Your breathing changes, your shoulders tighten, your mind sharpens in a way you don't want it to. You're standing there, trying to blend in, when your senses begin to overload. You hear a door slam behind you. Someone laughs too loudly. A phone rings. A chair scrapes against the floor. A child cries. Music pulses in the background. None of these things bother other people. But for you, they stack like layers of noise, dense and heavy, until your nervous system sends you a quiet alarm. Enough. It's becoming too much, and you know it's happening. You felt it before, that rising pressure behind your eyes, that subtle dizziness, that urge to withdraw, to protect your inner space before everything becomes unbearable. It's not panic, it's not fear, it's simply your mind trying to preserve your peace. And this is something so few people ever understand. Have you ever been in the middle of a social gathering, a dinner, a party, even a friendly get-together, and suddenly you felt your presence slipping inwards? Your body is still there, you're smiling, you're listening, you're nodding, you're playing your part. But inside, you've retreated. You've stepped away from the noise and taken shelter in the quiet corners of your mind. It's not that you're bored. It's not that you don't care. It's not that you don't appreciate the people around you. It's that your inner world becomes louder than the outer world. Your thoughts begin to whisper. Your senses start to buzz. Your emotional receptors light up like a dashboard. Your system goes into protection mode, and the only way to cope is to soften your presence and turn down your engagement. This isn't rudeness, it's self-preservation. People who live loudly don't know what this feels like. They don't understand how quickly your energy drains when the environment becomes too stimulating. They don't realize that your silence is a shield, not a wall. After moments like these, a quiet guilt often creeps in. You replay the evening in your head, wondering if you seemed distant, or cold, or uninterested. You ask yourself, did I talk enough? Did I seem weird? Did I look like I didn't want to be there? You judge yourself for needing less stimulation than others. You criticize yourself for craving the peace that others overlook. But here's what you must remember. Your silence is not a flaw. Your quietness is not a failure. Your discomfort in chaos doesn't make you wrong. You are not meant to stretch your soul to fit environments that exhaust you. Your energy is valuable. Your peace is sacred. Your sensitivity is a form of intelligence. There is nothing wrong with needing rest in spaces where the world demands constant performance. Modern society rewards volume, the loudest voices, the biggest personalities, the most dramatic expressions. But life itself, life rewards presence, life rewards awareness, life rewards those who see deeply rather than those who speak endlessly. You don't need to be loud to be powerful. You don't need to be the center of the room to have impact. You don't need to mimic the energy around you to belong. Your strength lies in your sensitivity, your ability to notice what others ignore, your connection to subtleties that most people rush past. You feel life, not just live it. You experience it with depth, with intensity, with meaning. And that's something very few people ever truly learn to do. It takes courage to be different in a world that demands sameness. It takes strength to hold onto your inner peace when the world around you is moving too fast. Being sensitive is not about weakness. It's about alignment. It's about connection. It's about resonance with the emotional reality of life. Yes, you feel more. Yes, you notice more. Yes, you sometimes hurt more. But because of that, you also experience a richer version of the world. You see beauty in quiet moments. You feel sincerity in soft gestures. You sense truth behind subtle expressions. You understand people not through their words but through their energy. This is not common. This is not ordinary. This is rare. And the rarest parts of us are always the most misunderstood. Let's talk about emotional space, something most sensitive people need yet rarely receive. Your mind isn't built for constant stimulation, constant conversation, constant noise. You need pauses. You need calm. You need stretches of silence where your thoughts can organize themselves instead of drowning in external chaos. This doesn't make you cold. It makes you balanced. It means you understand yourself deeply enough to know when you're reaching your limit. Some people recharge by talking. Some people recharge by being surrounded by others. But you recharge by returning to yourself, by stepping away, by resetting, by by breathing without interruption. You're not avoiding life, you're caring for your inner world. And the world inside you is just as important as the world outside. Have you ever noticed how small, quiet moments feel unbelievably meaningful to you? A soft laugh, a calm morning, a sincere conversation, a slow walk with someone you trust, the sound of rain hitting the window. The comfort of being with a person who doesn't demand anything from you. These moments feel like nourishment because they speak the language of your nervous system. They move at your pace, they hold space for your depth. They allow you to be exactly who you are without needing to perform or adapt. Your soul feels alive not in chaos, but in calm. Yes, the world is loud. Yes, people can be overwhelming. Yes, crowds drain you. Yes, overstimulation is real. But here's the truth. Your sensitivity is your edge. Your awareness is your power. Your depth is your strength. Your quiet heart is your compass. You navigate the world differently because you feel it differently. You don't need to change that. You don't need to fix it. You don't need to apologize for it. You simply need to honor who you are, a person who experiences life with more intensity, more empathy, more clarity, more presence than most people ever realize. And that is something incredibly rare. Thanks for watching. If this resonated with you, consider subscribing for more videos about understanding your inner world. There is something you may not have realized yet, something that explains why you walk through the world the way you do. You feel everything, not just your emotions, not just your thoughts, but the subtle energies around you, the tone of someone's voice, the tension in the room, the shift in the atmosphere, the tiny details that other people overlook because they're too busy rushing through life. You absorb it, you process it, you carry it, and that's why you often end the day exhausted even if nothing big happened. Emotional awareness isn't a switch you can turn off. It's the way your mind is wired. It's the way your nervous system evolved. It's the way your perception is shaped. People like you don't just see life, they sense it. And while that sensitivity can feel like a burden in busy spaces or loud environments, it becomes a gift in quiet moments where depth matters more than noise. You've probably heard it at some point that you're too sensitive, or too quiet, or too emotional, or too intense, or too different. People tend to label what they don't understand. But here's the truth they don't see. You aren't too much. You're simply tuned into emotional frequencies that most people never pick up on. You recognize sincerity instantly. You feel dishonesty immediately. You sense tension before words are even spoken. You hear what someone means even when they're saying something else entirely. You carry an emotional radar that runs 24/7. This can make you tired. It can make you withdrawn. It can make you crave solitude the way others crave excitement. But none of this means you're weak. It means you're alive in a way that many people aren't. And that is something to be proud of. Let's go deeper because everything you feel has a real, biological explanation. People with sensitive nervous systems process sensory information with more intensity. Your brain doesn't filter noise automatically. It collects every detail, every flicker of movement, every emotional shift, every layer of sound. It's like your mind is running 30 tabs at once while other people only have 3 open. Your dopamine responses are different too. Extroverts get energized by dopamine spikes from social stimulation. Your brain, however, doesn't get that same reward. Instead, it gets flooded, not energized, overwhelmed. So while others thrive in the rush, you sink in the noise. That isn't a flaw, it's chemistry, it's wiring, it's nature. Your brain evolved for depth, not speed, not chaos, not crowds. And when you understand that, you stop blaming yourself for reacting in ways you never chose. There's something powerful about people who don't need to be loud to be confident. Quiet confidence is subtle. It's gentle, it's steady, it's grounded. It's the way you walk into a room without needing to dominate it. It's the way you listen instead of waiting for your turn to speak. It's the way you think before you respond. It's the way you observe instead of react. People often mistake quiet confidence for shyness or withdrawal. But they're wrong. Quiet confidence isn't about being invisible. It's about being intentional. It's about knowing who you are without needing external validation. Your strength is internal. Your presence is stable. Your energy is calm but undeniable. That's why some people feel comfortable around you even when you say very little. Your silence is not empty, it's full of clarity. You don't bond through small talk. You don't connect through surface-level conversations. You don't build relationships through noise. You connect through sincerity, through pauses, through unspoken understanding, through truth. You notice the way someone's eyes soften when they talk about something they love. You notice the little tremble in their voice when they're hiding something. You notice the subtle relief in their posture when they finally feel understood. You connect with others by seeing the things they don't say, and that is a rare gift. But that also means you can't fake it. You can't force it. You can't pretend to be excited when you feel disconnected. Your relationships are fewer because your connections are deeper. That's not loneliness. That's integrity. You might wonder why certain days drain you even when nothing bad happened. Hear us why. Your brain works harder than most people as just to process the world. Your empathy burns energy. Your awareness consumes mental space. Your sensitivity demands recovery time. You rest deeply because you feel deeply. This doesn't mean your life is harder, it means you experience more, so you require more recovery. Your rest is not laziness. Your need for solitude is not withdrawal. Your quiet time is not avoidance, it is maintenance. It is nourishment, it is alignment. Your body isn't asking for isolation, it's asking for balance. And when you honor that, your whole life shifts. Let's talk about something you may not admit out loud. Sometimes you feel lonely not because you alone, but because you surrounded by people who don't see you. You can feel isolated in the middle of a crowded room because your mind lives on a different frequency. You crave genuine connection, not constant interaction. You want depth, not attention. You want understanding, not noise. Your loneliness isn't a lack of people, it's a lack of resonance. You're waiting for someone whose presence feels peaceful, not overwhelming. And when you find those people, the ones who speak softly, who understand silence, who don't demand more than you can give, you feel something powerful. You feel found. Maybe you've spent years trying to blend into environments that weren't built for people like you. Trying to move at a speed that goes against your nature. Trying to match the energy of people who live loudly. Trying to tolerate chaos that your mind simply cannot bear. But here's the truth. You weren't built to fit in. You were built to see what others overlook. To feel what others suppress. To notice the subtleties that make life meaningful. Your depth is not a disadvantage. Your sensitivity is not a weakness. Your quiet presence is not a flaw. You are different, beautifully, intentionally different. And when you stop trying to force yourself into environments that drain you, you discover something extraordinary. You belong in places that honor your softness. The world glamorizes chaos. It glorifies loudness. It celebrates noise. But you find your power in stillness. Peace doesn't bore you. Peace heals you. Peace strengthens you. Peace awakens you. When the world gets too loud, you don't shut down, you return to yourself. And returning to yourself is the most courageous thing you can do in a world that constantly pulls you in every direction. Your peace is not an escape, it's your home. All your life, you've been told that your quietness is a flaw. Your sensitivity is a weakness. Your need for solitude is strange. Your discomfort in crowds is unusual. But the truth is simple. You are not broken. All your life, you've been told that your quietness is a flaw. Your sensitivity is a weakness. Your need for solitude is strange. People might have called your discomfort in crowds unusual. But the truth, the real, simple truth, is this: you are not broken. You are not fragile. And you are most definitely not flawed. Forget everything you've been told that made you feel small. You are simply built differently. Imagine your mind and your spirit are like a finely tuned instrument. You're designed with incredible depth, with a powerful intuition that guides you, with an emotional awareness that allows you to connect with others on a profound level. Your nervous system isn't wired to just rush through life, checking off boxes. It's designed to truly feel life, to experience the subtleties, the beauty, the quiet moments that others might miss completely. That difference, the one you've been trying to hide or fix, is actually your greatest strength. It's your superpower. Think about it. In a world that's always shouting, your quiet observation is a gift. In a world that often ignores feelings, your empathy is a beacon of light. Your ability to find peace in solitude isn't strange. It's a source of incredible creativity and self-reflection. You don't need to change who you are to fit into a world that wasn't designed for you. What you need is to understand who you are, deeply and unapologetically. When you start to understand your unique wiring, everything changes. You stop seeing your needs as inconvenient and start seeing them as essential. You learn to honor your energy. You protect your peace like the precious resource it is. You start to live by your own rules, not the ones society tries to impose on you. And when you do that, you don't just survive, you thrive. You build a life that feels good on the inside, not just one that looks good on the outside. Because this world desperately needs people like you, people who notice the details, people who genuinely care, people who feel deeply, and people who truly see what others overlook. Your unique perspective is invaluable. Thank you so much for watching. If this resonated with you, please like this video and subscribe for more content on embracing who you truly are. See you next time.